Crystal Faulkner with the CPA and Business Advisory firm of Cooney, Faulkner and Stevens. We're here today with David Main. David's the president, CEO, and founder of the Hamilton County Development Company. And David, congratulations. This is the 30th anniversary of the Hamilton County Development Company that you founded. Did you even dream in your wildest imagination that that development company would have the impact that it's had on our region?
Well, when you consider that we started out with one loan program and we're limited to suburban Hamilton County, probably not. Since then, the corporation has grown to include an economic development office for the largest county in the region and the largest and oldest business incubator, in addition to making loans throughout Ohio and the state of Kentucky.
And you mentioned the loans because there are a lot of different loans, and certainly with so many businesses these days not being able to get a traditional loan, your loan program really does help companies who may have been struggling with that.
That's true. We have long-term fixed interest rate loans in the low 4% for companies that are looking to acquire real estate or machinery and equipment. In addition, we can work with them on how to approach a bank and make their prospects more saleable.
And let's talk about the economic development impact that the Business Center and the development company has had on our region.
Well, in 2012, what we found is the total investment has been over $150 million by the companies that have either taken part in the loan programs, used the economic development incentives, the enterprise zones, the community reinvestment areas, or the tenants in the incubator in order to obtain capital for their expansion.
Well, let's talk about the incubator because a long time ago I was on that very first board before you even had a building, and I've followed and been engaged with the incubator. It's just an amazing resource that we have in our region, and so many people don't even know about it.
Well, the incubator is basically four things. It's a facility that offers affordable, flexible space. It also provides administrative support services. It's an environment that's conducive to risk-taking and entrepreneurial thinking. And last but probably most importantly, it has ready access to business assistance and business coaching, all under one roof.
So in other words, you have done so much here in our region, David, for businesses, business growth, economic development. And if people aren't familiar with the Hamilton County Development Company or the Hamilton County Business Center, the website for HCDC is on our site at wcpo.com/businesswise. You can go to the link, find out all the information and see if there's anything there that you can take advantage of. And we're going to continue our conversation with David Main, CEO and founder of the Hamilton County Development Company on wcpo.com/businesswise. So David, let's just go back to the Business Center for a bit, the incubator. I was just over there earlier this week. It's just an amazing facility. Who is your best tenant, if there is such a thing, for the incubator?
Well, you're also asking who is your best child, and we've got roughly 46 of them, and I would probably answer it depends. It depends on how well they're doing. We've got a number of tenants that are growing in that we list. Right now, our tenant of the year was a company called General Nano, and they're developing some type of technology. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but
a little more technical than what we might know here.
Correct. But they've been growing exponentially. They've picked up some other products in that. As far as, because we're looking at innovative and scalable companies and new technologies, that's probably right now them being the tenant of the year. But we've had a number of companies that have actually grown and graduated that we're quite proud of that are in the region and have been creating jobs and putting more investment and even spawning off other ventures.
You know, the development company just in and of itself, we talked earlier about some of the loan programs, and the beautiful thing about this is that many of these are SBA government-backed loans that allows a bank to come in and feel more comfortable making that loan, and your terms are so much better in many cases than what a business could otherwise get.
Well, the typical SBA 504 loan, which is the program we participate in as a certified development company, has a 50% first mortgage from the bank, and they feel quite comfortable because of their loan to collateral ratio. We come in, HCDC comes in with a second mortgage that's guaranteed by the Small Business Administration. Our rate is fixed. We can go for either a 10 or 20-year loan. Currently, the rates on a 20-year loan are 4.21%. On a 10-year loan, they're like 3.9. So it's fixed, there is predictability, and then the borrower needs to come up with 10% cash. There may be a need to increase that if it's a startup, which means they're less than 18 months old, or if it's a single-purpose building. but it enables companies to conserve their own cash for working capital
Sure.
and provide some predictability on their debt service, particularly when dealing with fixed assets, and you can hopefully match the financing, as you know as an accountant,
Right.
with the length of your asset you're financing.
Absolutely, and the rates right now are just unbelievably low. So certainly it's something you want to take advantage of if you can be eligible for that. You mentioned a moment ago another word that I love, which is incentives. Let's talk about incentives. What type of incentives does your organization help businesses achieve?
The primary two incentives that we work with are the Enterprise Zone program and the Community Reinvestment Area. These programs basically provide tax incentives or tax abatements on new investments in real estate. At one time prior to the commercial activities tax or the CAT tax, it also involved tangible personal property. But since the change there, it's been strictly dealing with real property. So let's say a company is looking to expand, they bought a piece of ground, they're building a new building. There is the option for them to obtain, if they're in an enterprise zone or community investment area, a partial tax exemption on the improvements. Now they still continue to pay taxes on the land, and usually they'll pay somewhere between 25 to maybe as much as 50% on the improvements. But it enables them to lower the cost of this expansion.
Sure, and you know, I mentioned earlier that this is the development company's 30th year anniversary. Fast forward 30 years from now, what do you see your vision? Maybe we don't have to go 30 years, but what do you see your vision? What's your goals here in the next few years for the development company and the business center?
Well, I think the goals are twofold. Number one, we would like to continue to see growth in our primary loan program, the SBA 504 program. We'd like to see it where any business that is looking to expand, that needs to acquire real estate or other fixed assets, is able to get financing through us. We'd like to expand the number of banking partners we work with. I mean, last year we worked with 19 different lending institutions in the community. We'd like to expand that. It's a good program for them, and it's a good program for the borrowers. We have a new program we're about ready to launch through the SBA called the Intermediary Loan Program, or IPL. It's a slightly different. We can do smaller loans than the 504, and they're done locally. Beyond that, I'd like to see, as far as the county is concerned, more emphasis on business retention expansion, and particularly those companies that are, say, between $1 million in revenues and up to $50 million in revenues.
I agree. I represent a lot of those clients, middle market clients, that maybe don't feel the love as much as maybe some of the startups. So to the extent that we can have programs to let these well-established companies who've been here for a while take advantage, maybe get to the next level as well. Let's talk about the business center though. Is there any room at the end? Is there any more room for other people who may be watching today that would like to see if the business center is something that they could take advantage of?
We currently have 46 tenants that are located in the business center. We're about 68, 69% occupied. The way the business center works is typically a company would apply to come in. They need to have a business plan. They need to be a relatively new company, say less than 18 months old, and in, call it free space, their home, their spare bedroom, their dining room, or borrowed space. We're not looking to move someone out from conventional space where they're paying rent. The idea, though, is to be in the incubator between 3 to 5, maybe 7 years, and then graduate, because this is not a permanent home, but it's a situation. It's like maybe college or graduate school. We do have a graduate facility for those companies that are not quite ready to launch out, or we had a situation with the economy where developers were not in the position to provide the accommodations, and the companies were not able to show the credit that they could. So there is plenty of room in the inn, and it's a continual churning of companies. Usually some are here only maybe a year, but others can be there maybe 5 to 7, 8 years.
And the facility is in Norwood, so certainly if you'd like to go down, check it out. I would assume that people can do that, and again, the information for Hamilton County Development Company and Hamilton County Business Center is right here on this site, and you can just link and find out lots of information, see if you can take advantage of. David, thank you so much for being my guest.
You're certainly welcome.
Everything that you've done for our community.
Well, thank you very much.